The world of technology has been rapidly growing, so today I'm going to teach you some of the basics behind programming. I'm using code.org, and to start, we're going to start by designing the app before we get to the coding. So I'll be putting all the sizes up on the screen, but we'll start with a label and then the text inputs. The X for these will always stay the same, the Y's will change. This is the same for the checkboxes. After that, we'll hide everything except the first ones, and then add a button to add new task. Finally, we'll add a radio button and keep it checked, and this will eventually remove task. Next, we're going to add an event button. This will cause the code after it to trigger when we perform the task. In this case, it'll be clicking the task button. We're going to be moving the button down, and we don't need the last two sections because those change the width and height. The X will just be 45, but we're going to have to use a math function to change the Y. We'll use addition to take whatever current position of the button is and increase it by 40. Now we will show the next two boxes below the first one so they can be used. We can also do this with the third boxes, but then we run into an issue. We need to use variables, that way it only adds one at a time. To do this, we will create our own variable, I use y, and then we use if statements, so it only triggers it when that statement is true. Our statement will be y equals a number. By having our variable increase by using the math function, we can control which section appears when. We'll do this for all of the boxes. As for what number y is equal to, I just did the same as whatever box it is to make it easy to keep track of. We'll see that the button stays even when we reach the last set of boxes, so we'll need to make it disappear. We'll do this by using another if statement, but we'll turn it into an if-then statement. That way, when y is greater than 7, it'll trigger a different set of commands that also hides the task button while showing the last boxes. Now we'll focus on the radio button, and we'll do something very similar to what we just did. We're going to add another event, but it'll be when the radio button is clicked. And when it is clicked, we'll have it remove a set of boxes, then subtract one from our variable. We still want our last section to be separate, that way we can re-show the add task button. We also want to add another command that decreases our variable before the else section, that way we can remove all of the tasks we added. Next, we want the button to move back up whenever we remove a task, so we'll do something similar to before when we had it moving down. However, this time, to move it up, we'll use subtraction instead of addition. You'll notice that the button keeps going up, so to prevent this, we'll use another if statement to stop it from triggering when y reaches 1. If we put the command that decreases our variable in this too, it'll stop our number from getting offset. Next, we want it so the radio button moves up and down just like the regular button. So we'll do the exact same command that we did with the button, but change x to equal 280. We'll put these commands in the same places that our button commands are. We'll use addition for when the button is clicked and subtraction for when the radio button is clicked. But we'll also put it in the sections where y equals 8 since, although the button doesn't move, the radio button will. Upon doing this, our program will finally be complete. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you learned something new. Enjoy your new program.